Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind successful startups, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future expansion. Today, we're super excited to have Carl Roose joining us, the founder and CEO of MindTeams. Carl will be sharing more about his founding story and giving us a glimpse into plans for future growth. So let's jump straight into it. Carl, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much, Olivia. It's a pleasure to be talking to you. I've listened to the podcast and this is my first time on.
Awesome, amazing. A pleasure is all mine to have you here. So I like to start the journey at the beginning with all my guests. So can you take us back to maybe what you was doing before you started MindTeams, and then what specific problem inspired you to get going?
Sure, absolutely. So MindTeam is an AI consultancy. And prior to that, I had a very different career up until basically ChatGPT changed my whole life and many others. But I took it maybe a step further than a lot of people did and changed my career from a career designer and design director, graphic design, web design, digital design, most of that in a nonprofit, an international nonprofit on a communications team. And I found that I was just overtaken by this curiosity and enthusiasm about AI, and I was doing it nights and weekends. So there I was making a career transition, starting my own company, and that was basically it.
Love it. And I suppose the whole world took that glimpse of AI as soon as it come out. But for me, as you say, the natural transition from graphic design, web design, anything online, AI was soon going to help and elevate that to the next level. So can you walk us through the current business model and exactly how you work with your clients?
Certainly, yes. As a consultancy, the business model is mainly that I provide AI support services, whether that's in training and education
Yes.
or planning and strategy, or sort of helping roadmap where companies or organizations want to go with their AI, or helping develop policies. And then also implementation, helping automate things or set up processes or systems that then they can use on their own. So that's the essence of what we provide as a service. And sometimes that is one-off projects, and sometimes it's more partnership arrangements where I'm serving as sort of their de facto fractional AI lead, or just as a guy who checks in once a month to make sure that everything's going well still.
Awesome, amazing. And what would be your ideal client if you were to put that in perspective? Do you work mainly B2B or is it B2C?
It's a little bit of both. It tends to be B2B. I guess it's more in the agency
Okay.
flavor, helping either B2B, or in certain cases, it's not strictly businesses. In a lot of cases, it's like a membership organization or somebody trying to help their members or constituents in turn, rather than actual customers sometimes. But in essence, it's a B2B arrangement.
And how long would you typically spend working with a client, or does that just completely depend on their needs from the consultancy?
It completely depends. I would say at the moment there are more clients that we have with for the time being, their short-term needs, like a project that they just want to try doing or that they have an immediate need for. Once we have that delivered and they're happy with that, then either another one will come up immediately or in a few months as their imagination gets bigger about what's possible now. And sometimes it's ongoing. So, as I said, sometimes they're ongoing arrangements, but it could be anywhere from, I don't think I've had one that took only a few days, but a couple of weeks to indefinitely.
Amazing. So yeah, completely just dependent on what the client's need is. And I suppose I should have asked you this in the first half of the interview. How long have you been going? How long is it since you set up the company?
Let's see, formally full-time on paper, I think it was spring of 2024, even though basically I've been advising informally and doing it on the side with my job for probably a year ahead of that. So,
Nice. Okay, so we're about a year into it, and is it just you at the moment, or do you have a team behind you helping with other sides of things such as marketing and sales and the back
sure.
end stuff?
Yeah, good question. We are at the moment a lean, efficient team of mostly me. I'm the founder and only full-time employee, probably indefinitely. I'd actually like to keep it that way, to keep the
Nice.
service personal, and of course now with AI I can automate a lot of the functions that
Yeah.
would have needed expansion. I do have one person who helps me, an associate of mine, who I bring in a few hours a week to help me with some of the business development and marketing things, and a few other things around the edges. But that's us mostly. There's one intern actually, also for the who looks like they may be doing a little bit more engineering. So it takes some very smart engineering to make some of this stuff happen occasionally, and he's really helping a lot with that at the moment.
Awesome, amazing. So you're a man of many hats, many talents, obviously, if you're covering the whole belt yourself and obviously very busy. So what would you say, how would you go about acquiring your customers? Is there any channels or methods that you're finding most effective at the moment?
Yeah, I would say at the moment, the majority of my customers have been people, teams coming to me through my own organic networks, existing networks, whether that's people I know or just friends of
Right.
friends or coworkers of coworkers. We do some active outreach. We try to be very precise in pinpointing and doing our due diligence and good research on businesses who exactly fit the profile of this is exactly who we think we could help the most. And I'm also added in a couple of places, but in one place in particular, there's a certified consultants directory for AI consultants specifically that's online through this group that I'm a network and program that I've been a part of that has vetted all these certified consultants. And so I'm starting to get more inquiries through that as well, just passive people who find me that way and see that among these consultants, I look like I'm a good fit to at least talk to.
Amazing. So yeah, being part of communities like that, a great way to again build on the referral side of things that you're working so far. And what does that side of it look like? So once you've outreached and you found the perfect potential person you want to work with, how does that work? Do you to conduct a sales call? Do you then go in and do a diagnostics and talk me through that side of it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly that. You're on the right track. We have a discovery call. We set up some sort of a sales introductory call with usually some discovery. And that's when I get to hear for the first time about what it is, why it is they're in touch, and what their problems are or their challenges, things that they know they could use help with. And in some cases, that's when I can actually offer some of the glimpse of what I see as the possibilities, or that yes, the answer is yes, we can do that. And that's the real aha moment sometimes. Oh, that's possible. I didn't even think it was possible, but yes, here we are saying yes, we can absolutely do that. And then for that matter, I offer the just because I don't know, it seems right to me and it seems like a no-brainer, but I offer a 30-day money back
Okay.
satisfaction guarantee just so that everybody feel to reduce the risk that people feel because it's a weird thing. AI is new to most people. Most
Yeah.
people have never had an AI consultant, even if they've worked with AI or consultants in the past. It's like a new role to or new relationship to build. So I can understand a lot of people just having a little hesitation before they dive into something. So I try and reduce that.
Love
Once
it.
we've gotten the discovery call under our belts, if it feels like to both of us like it's a reasonable proposition to pursue and something that's a good fit at the outset, I will usually go back and create a proposal for them based on what it sounds like is the best either package or sort of sequence of services or maybe as you were saying, the next step is an assessment. That's often a good next step, whether it's further discovery just with them or we decide that to do the scope of what they need, we really need more internal team discovery, whether that's them or me coming in as a first step to map out where things stand now in the processes. Yeah, and then we get to work.
Love it. Awesome. And I do want to touch on because you did mention that the thought of an AI consultant is actually very new. I suppose I speak to a lot of coaches and consultants every day, so the more they pop up and the more I'm using AI in my own life and as much as everyone else is. I suppose a year ago I would never even consider that as a job.
Three
Wild how
years
you
ago, it certainly wasn't a job.
get wild how you get your head around that, I do not know.
No, it's really crazy.
Amazing. And in terms of, have you ever played around with short form funnels, cold outreach on a grand scale, or is that kind of in the process to move on to next?
Are you talking mostly in terms of phone or in terms of yeah, like email as well?
Whatever, yeah, whatever that means out to, using
Yeah,
cold email.
cold email so far is a part of what we've experimented with and just tried to make happen. It doesn't represent the core of our incoming inquiries
Fair
yet,
enough. Yep.
but that's more of a casting wide net numbers, even if we've done very precise lead qualification and stuff like that. So yeah,
Amazing.
it's a little bit, not phone calls yet. I haven't cloned my voice and sent out an army of robo-Carls to ask the world if they could use an AI consultant, and if so, why, and if not, why not?
I'm sure that would be the next step, considering the rate that AI is growing.
It
And
could be. I think we'll all be talking to a lot more bots in the next couple of years. Whether I'm going to be among the bots, I have to wait and see because in addition to the tech moving forward, people's society's comfort with how we feel about talking with robots in different contexts, it's also a little all over the map.
yeah, it's definitely the challenge with AI. And one thing working within kind of a sales industry and everything myself, is that kind of personal touch that's lacking with it. So I feel like if you can get the two that merge together very well, you're on the right money to something special.
Yeah, exactly. I think you hit it on the head. That's exactly what we try and solve is finding the right balance between, even though AI can do tons of stuff, it's in some cases more a matter of whether it should be or where the human still needs to fit in or be doing the task entirely. I
Yeah.
know I've recently, just this last week, I saw someone getting real blowback because they had created this really sophisticated writing system, an AI writing system that was very good at emulating their voice and giving them a good first draft. They still didn't let it write and just automatically publish what it came out with, even though it sounded pretty close to what they would do. And it was pretty good
Yeah.
writing by now. But they got so much blowback on even the idea that it was creating draft content for them. And so how real is the thinking and the writing behind what they're now reading as the loyal audience? It's a thorny thing. But nobody really cares who checked your spreadsheet or who took notes on your meeting. So some things are really safe to do that way. And I think that'll evolve with time too.
Yeah, 100. In the time saving aspects of things, it is a lifesaver. Like the agents that are coming out and people that are literally just doing all your admin work for you is
Hmm.
definitely the plus side of AI at the moment, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. And then, of course, you and I probably both can relate, and maybe a lot of people listening to this can relate. Just in the last 24 hours, I think I've probably gotten three pretty clearly AI automated
Yeah.
outreach emails, but that at least had my name and my company name in them and maybe a detail that you could have gotten from my LinkedIn or my website. And you can do that. It probably works for people if they send out 10,000 of those, but that's one other one where we as a company try and take more of a err on the side of the personal, the human, and implement what we can in a human way that is just going to work for the people doing it, save them the time, but then not overstep and save them a bunch more time in the interest of efficiency where it really starts to turn off or really backfire and turn off their customers or something.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like if you're using AI to be lazy, and that might be a very blunt way of putting it, but if you're using AI to
Oh
be
yeah,
lazy, I don't think that's the route to success. It's definitely to enhance what we know and how we think and moving forward.
absolutely.
So I do want to touch upon what the next kind of 12 months hold for you.
Sure.
What are your plans for the future?
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about that all the time, every day. To the extent it is firm, of course, we all know AI is moving faster than your average industry right now. So I feel like all my plans are in pencil at any given time, even for the 12 months out.
Ironically, AI and writing down in pencil.
Exactly. My AI pencil is helping me revise my plans as we go every couple of months. So to the extent my AI and I have ideas about what might be good priorities in the next, because it's a very good business coach as well, if with certain questions, some things I'd rather have a human weigh in on. But in the next 12 months, for example, I am hoping to move more towards the speaking engagements that I'm trying to do more of and presentations and invitations to present on various aspects of AI, either
Mhm.
publicly, internally, what have you. I'd like those to amount to more and more of a lead generation channel. I'd like to systematize and automate or somehow streamline a lot of things that we do internally. That's more a continual thing, but I have a few benchmarks that I want to meet in the next year of having things automated so we can move that much more efficiently and reach more potential customers. And another thing that's come up recently and I think has been really interesting to consider is I've been approached a few times for sort of strategic partnerships. Some of them just traditional. If you ever have a client who needs more help on this part of the thing, or you need a Microsoft specific expert to make this thing work in their environment beyond the general AI scope of what I typically can help with, then I can partner with them and bring them in to form the right team, or vice versa. Maybe they send somebody my way, or I plug in on an AI part of one of their projects. So I think this sort of like collaborative element that I'm seeing in the network of people who are sewing together all their a lot of people coming to this AI consultancy stuff are mid-career. They've already had a career. They've been around long enough to spot that this is a real huge opportunity and a big revolution. And
Yeah.
they see all the possibilities and they're really good about connecting at this point in their career. And so they connect as an instinct with other people. So I'm forming those partnerships and seeing what might come of them is also a big priority for me in the next 12 months.
Love it, and that's great to hear because, again, we did mention it about 2 minutes ago, the fact that it is such a new job role, it is such a new band form of the consultancy. So the fact that you have a community that's all willing to help each other to really elevate it, it is great to see. It really
Right.
is.
I think partly it's such a huge need. It's such a general purpose technology. There's almost no business you can think of that wouldn't benefit from it. So I think people are seeing that like it's a sea full of fish. This is not some scarce resource. We're all competing for the same 5 potential customers. It's like the need is huge, more than a whole team of AI consultants can even hope to work.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like there might be a lot of negative thoughts around AI at the moment just because of the way it is evolving and what it's scary to see
Oh,
things that might be
absolutely.
changing. And so it's great that you're having a positive spin on it and really emphasizing the fact that it's there to aid human help and not just take over from things that we're doing ourselves.
No, you're absolutely right. Some of the I was at an event earlier this week, and mentioned what I do, and the person basically to my face said, "Oh, AI, oof, that's scary." And I know that's a lot of people's reaction. And actually, though, that goes to something that I am often confronted with as a common misconception about AI in general, and what I'm trying to do with people and for people
Mm.
is, I think because of the way our brains are built, humans see the scary headlines, and news tends to focus on the scary headlines about what AI has just the direction it's going, what it might do if this eventually happens with it, or that this risk isn't attended to, or this just happened and it's really hurt a person in some way. And that's all true. I have a lot of those same concerns myself. But at the same time, I think the way our brains work, we become blind to the opportunity that there is on at least as much of that on the other side. And so I tend to focus on that and try and help clients focus on that, which is accentuating the positive. And I'm a natural optimist, so that comes easily to me. But I genuinely think that people are disproportionately overlooking the opportunity for some of the risks. And I think that's where that in and of itself is an opportunity to really make strides where maybe other people are waiting and seeing and really going forward and trying to embrace what's good about it and how it can really help you in a very low risk way right now.
100%. And being in front of the curve is the way to do that, to push and really ride the wave before it's missed you.
Yeah.
So I suppose a question I do want to ask, you're talking about speaking events, getting yourself out there. What did that look like for you? Are they going to be in terms of in-person webinars or online seminars? What does that look like? I want to know
Yeah,
more.
I think for the moment, it's been a mix of webinars, some of which we offer for free, just that would be of general interest, that we see questions we hear a lot, we try and address with a specific sort of intro level presentation on some aspect of AI, one technique or a certain application of it, or just what is AI in general. Sometimes it's a paid webinar that is more focused on a specific vertical or sort of niche use or type of team or type of use that might be a little bit more specific, might have specific needs for privacy or security or just a different workflow. And in terms of the speaking engagements, it could be anything from just giving a slideshow presentation at a local chamber of commerce or something like that, or for that matter, speaking live by video to a national members group or something like that, or going there in person and flying out. All the above.
Amazing. So yeah, just got the opportunity to come out and then move it from there. So what
Sure.
would you say would be like the biggest bottleneck in terms of growth right now? Well, how are you going to be working to overcome that?
We touched on it a little bit before. I think the biggest bottleneck is that question of the there are a lot of things that need to happen manually still because if you don't, it's too automated and it gets you lose the personal touch or you lose the quality control. But there are still a lot more things, even in my own business, that could be automated. In most people's businesses, we work on it ourselves. So there's that further automation within reason, but then scaling while staying personal and maintaining the quality is that's some to some degree it's always a natural bottleneck we're going to start to embrace as people because we're going to realize what the valuable parts of being people to people are. But that's and then so some people are going to look at that and see it's a bottleneck, and sometimes the bottlenecks are good. But in our case, we know we haven't reached the point where we've automated everything we could to its best advantage. So, like most of the companies we try and help, we may be a little farther ahead in doing it, but there's a lot more. Everybody comes to us in essence with a bottleneck. So
Yeah,
those are bottlenecks we try and solve for them and for ourselves too.
love it. And just to switch up a little bit, I don't want to take up too much of your time at the moment. We're going to move into a bit of a lightning round.
Yeah, sure.
So, what is the best piece of advice that you've received about scaling a business?
Oh, best piece of advice about scaling specifically. I think it's start with your closest in network, your natural organic network, and don't scale I guess I've been given advice that's rather than cast a wide net that's very generic or take an advertising strategy that's very mass market, it's worth scaling in a sort of slightly more strategic, more focused way on exactly who needs your help the most, who your ideal customers are, and who is already connected with you and somehow interested.
Yeah, 100%. Really find who's looking for you and aim for them rather than every fish in the pond will work and we can see what happens.
Yeah, and so I'm sure other people, Instagram works for ads, work for tons of people out there trying to sell me their secrets to success, but I just don't. That's not the model I'm trying to follow.
Awesome. And then as a final note, what advice would you give to any founders who are listening and just at the start of their journey?
At the start, reflecting on my own experience, because I've been a new founder. This is the first thing I founded for my first business. So I've been on a learning curve last year, basically. And I just feel like it's starting to taper to a plateau, which is nice. But I guess I would say try and rather than trying to scale right away, get your house in order, try and create some genuine value, whether it's for yourself, but your first clients, really make it work, really deliver great work. Start with the people who already trust you and know you, and you could just take baby steps out from that. And once you've proven your concept and your offering and its value, then that'll be a good platform. Then you can start to systematize and build off of that and expand.
Love it. And again, comes in hand with it with the scaling of a business. Take your time, get your house in order, find out what you're doing, and
Right.
then you can have to grow it.
Good
Amazing.
business advice in general, but
Yeah.
some people who are new like me, you need all the general obvious advice you can.
Sometimes the most general, plain and simple is what needs to happen. You want to make bread, use flour. Like,
Right.
I love it.
Very, very
Um,
true. Couldn't have said
so
it
yeah.
better.
And any final words from you, Carl, before we wrap? Where can we find you? Where is there any websites and stuff out there where people can hit you up?
They can certainly. MindTeam has its web home at mindteam.ai. That's MINDTEAM.ai, which is not something most people are used to typing yet, but there we are. It's a thing. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I'm also, as I mentioned, if you just type in my name, Carl Roose, I'm now in a few different AI consultants directories, so you don't just have to take my word for it in terms of my own marketing.
Love it. But we will take your word for it because that's what we don't
I'm a
compete.
stand-up guy. I think we talked. You don't
We've got
have
to know, you
you
know,
don't have
we're
shysters on
safe.
here.
We're safe here. Everything's great.
Exactly.
And with that is a wrap on another inspiring episode of Founders Future. I want to thank Carl for sharing his journey and incredible insight with us today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io where you can jump on a call with one of our team and discover how we were able to go from 0 to 30 million in less than 3 years. But until then, keep climbing and we will see you on the next one.